Jack, your Steelers headline was Steelers statement.
Well, we made a
You were
statement.
at the game.
We made a statement. The statement was this team is nowhere near as good as the 49ers.
Being at the game, just walk me through when you first got in to when you left. What were the expectations for the Steelers season as you entered Acrisure and as you left Heinz, formerly known as Heinz?
I got a couple of funny stories. So, Saturday night in Pittsburgh, we were in the casino.
Vibes are great.
And vibes are high. I'm winning. I won a couple blackjack hands and took everything I won and put it on the Steelers to win the Super Bowl.
Of course you did.
And the next day after the game, our buddy Ryan, who was at the game with us, he's like, Jack, man, that Super Bowl bet. I'm like, yeah, I should have bet it now. The odds are probably better. But no, it was so... We got to Pittsburgh, and there we saw a million 49er fans.
It looked like a San Francisco takeover.
So many Niner fans, and I'm like, shoot.
Notre Dame, Georgia.
Yeah, and then we entered the stadium, and keep in mind, every hotel in the area was totally sold out, and it had to have been San Francisco fans. We walk into the stadium, and pregame is hype. There's a flyover. It's probably there's more Steeler fans than pregame. They're loud, like towels are flying. They're announcing the starting defense. T.J. Watt getting all hyped up. And then once opening kickoff took place, it was the worst. I've probably been to 100 Steeler games in my life. This was the worst one because there was never any moment where the fans were excited at all because it was 17-0 in the first quarter.
I was watching on TV and we were like, wow, I feel so bad for the guys.
Like, yeah, we never even made it interesting at all. I mean, you couldn't stop the Niners on offense. Everybody was wide open. McCaffrey sliced us. It was terrible. I was shocked.
We'll get to San Francisco in a moment. We'll go over to Ziggy for some 49ers stuff. But I just want to give some context. When you were talking about the hotels, Jack and Zach were going to the game, kind of a late notice trip out to Pittsburgh, and they were up all night, Friday night, right?
Yeah, Friday night up until
trying to find a hotel,
1 in the
and they were
morning.
saying, you were basically saying you'd never seen it that booked up before.
Yeah, all the hotels we usually stay at were totally sold out. Every hotel within like 15 miles of the city was sold out.
So I guess it had to be the 49ers fans. That's wild.
And then I get a text from it was either my dad or my brother, one of those two. On TV, you could see the whole lower level of Pittsburgh Heinz Field looked like it was red.
Red stands out too. When it's in a crowd, it makes it look sometimes a lot worse than it actually is. But it sounded loud for San Francisco on TV.
I was telling Zach too. I'm like, I've never seen our stadium taken over.
You have a great home field.
We're the ones taking over their stadiums, not yeah. So I was shocked.
Wow. When the 49ers are good. Before San Francisco, let me just ask you, Kenny Pickett had 2 interceptions. He didn't look anything like the guy we saw in preseason. He was inaccurate, getting sacked 5 times. Were you watching that game saying like, maybe this isn't exactly what I
I was upset. I was surprised. The only
flush it?
Yeah, the only saving grace to me is that it was week 1. Mike Tomlin was a good coach. I like to assume as the season goes on, we'll improve. San Fran's probably the best defense in football. Good. Yeah, so I'm trying to just have a short memory about that. It's not like we got waxed by the Carolina Panthers. It's probably the best team in football.
Like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers or something like that.
I think losing 30-7 is worse than losing by 3 to anybody.
Yeah. No, it was not encouraging. Ziggy, let's go over to you now for some 49ers stuff. When you look at the 49ers, maybe we really disrespect. Well, let me see. Did you pick the Steelers as well? Zach was the only one. He lone wolfed the 49ers. When we looked at San Francisco throughout the offseason, the questions around Brock Purdy were, of course, the big question. But maybe we just forgot how we all knew how great this team is, but maybe we just didn't realize this unit around Brock Purdy
is also
just
amazing.
Oh,
Purdy's also amazing.
Purdy's really good.
Yeah, he's amazing.
But on top of that, the team around him is just, Ayuk was sensational. McCaffrey was good. Kittle, like the whole team, defense stout everywhere.
Debo was great.
Debo was good. Are they, in your opinion, after watching that, are they your favorite for the NFC over Philadelphia? Because Philly kind of struggled in New England. Did you think that this was a statement game for San Francisco instead of the Steelers?
One thing about this 49ers offense is when Brock Purdy's behind center, they seem to always outperform the advanced statistics. They did it again this week. But look, if you're looking, it's hard to figure out what the best part was. right? Was the best part the fact that Brock Purdy looked incredible, right? He did absolutely everything that was asked of him. Was it Christian McCaffrey putting up almost 200 all-purpose yards? Was it Brandon Ayuk showing up and looking like the wide receiver one? Was it the fact that they made Kenny Pickett look like a fool? Was it the fact that like the Steelers put up what, like 40 rushing yards?
And we didn't get our first down until 2 minutes left in the second quarter.
Steelers had 41 rushing yards.
Yeah, like the Steelers had one successful drive in the entire game. And this was a team going in with a lot of hype, right? Kenny Pickett looked good in the preseason. The rushing attack looked okay. You know, there were some worries, but I don't think anybody expected this. There's only so much you can read into one game, right? But for the 49ers to walk into Heinz Stadium and baby brother the Steelers that hard.
Yeah, it was.
Heinz Field, excuse me.
I was stunned. I've, again, having been to over 100 games in Pittsburgh, I've never seen anything like that.
Brandon Ayuk, 8 catches, 129 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Oh, he was wide open every time. I could see it playing out. I'm like, oh, he was wide open.
I think, Ziggy, you mentioned...
Except for the one throw where he wasn't wide open and Patrick Peterson just got owned.
Yeah. You mentioned how many different factors of the game were successful for San Francisco. The only negative was they had a bunch of penalties. Other than that, it kind of looked like men versus boys. That's what it looked like.
Oh, yeah, it was domination.
And Brock Purdy, we got to remember, that's where I think it's the biggest win for them is that Brock Purdy came out, looked like the Brock Purdy from last year, looked just as good, honestly, as last year. They're 9-0 now when he plays start to finish. I mean, he has just been great since they're unbeatable when he's playing quarterback and he can finish the game. I'm not counting the Eagles game when he left. It's so San Francisco.
You know, I was watching that game and live in person, and I was saying to myself and Zach and our buddies Ryan and Ken the whole time, they look like they can't be beat.
Yeah.
Like literally they can't be stopped, and their defense is also amazing.
The Raiders played them the best last year with Jarrett Stidham last year.
Right, in Vegas, yeah.
That was it. Other than that, they are waxing people, and it doesn't look like it's going to stop. So
that's my lone saving
and we like the Steelers. I don't think they're a bad team. They just
I don't either.
Got manhandled.
Yeah, they got manhandled.